morning. Go ahead and get started. So let's bring some attention to the posture. Settle the body in a stable, comfortable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So we keep our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, eyes are gently closed or slightly open, letting in enough light to remain alert. Hands are in the lap, right over left, the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. And just scan through your body and relax any places where you're holding unnecessary tension, relaxing the muscles of the face and the shoulders, allowing the body to just settle into its own stable, comfortable, but still upright position without relying on a backrest or leaning or slouching. And just pull away from attending to the outside world. Hold your attention just to the body and mind. No need to pay attention to sights or sounds around you. Just try to attend to whatever physical sensations you can discern that accompany the in breath and the out breath in the area around the nostrils. Noticing as quickly as possible if something arises in the mind that's other than that physical sensation, and just lifting your attention up without judgment or frustration, and gently placing it back on that present moment physical sensation. Repeating that again and again, trying to hold your sensation, hold your attention on that sensation. And then establish an altruistic motivation for your time and your effort, recollecting interdependence, seeing how our actions affect others, the content of our mind drives our actions, seeing our spiritual lives as an effort to become familiar with positive mental states and reduce our familiarity with more destructive mental states. That the main purpose of that is to be more and more effective in benefiting others. So today we'll do a meditation centered around the idea of working constructively with these disturbing emotions. We can start by trying to determine for ourselves perhaps what is the disturbing emotion that we find is cropping up in our own life more prominently. Sometimes people struggle with being short tempered. Sometimes people struggle with being jealous or covetous. So, what in your own life do you think comes up most? The teachings suggest that we start with the kinds of disturbing attitudes that are the most prominent. Just take a moment and try to settle on one tendency or habit that you think isn't in line with your own spiritual ideals. And then start by thinking of an instance where this disturbing attitude or tendency came up for you, but try to find an example of this where you felt like you were able to have some degree of success in applying some antidote, where you were able to, maybe not perfectly, but you were able to have more spaciousness in the mind, or you were able to recollect something that you had heard or read that you found helpful and that reduced the impact of this disturbing attitude. Just try to pick whatever seems the most successful. And really try to replay that memory as clearly as you can in your mind. Try to identify any lessons that you can from that specific interaction. Try to see if you can reach a conclusion about why you felt like it was more successful than other times in reducing that particular disturbing attitude. Then try to think, is there anything more that I could do, could have done to enhance the strategies for reducing the impact of this disturbing emotion or attitude? Could I have really tried to think about the kindness that perhaps the other person in the interaction has shown me in the past? Do I really clearly understand all of the disadvantages of practicing this disturbing emotion, giving into it and becoming more familiar with it? Do I really understand the advantages of trying to actively put an end to the arising of this disturbing attitude? Do I really clearly understand that these disturbing attitudes are separable from my mind, that my mind is just that which is clear and knowing, and that I can be successful in completely eliminating these disturbing attitudes from the mind? So try to think about additional new strategies that maybe you've learned since then or occurred to you later, and imagine that even more effectively you subdued that disturbing attitude by applying these strategies in the moment. Just try to be creative and think what would have been even more effective. Now bring to mind a different memory where the same disturbing attitude arose, but perhaps a bit more powerfully. Perhaps you found that you weren't able to be very successful in countering this particular arising of the disturbing attitude. So settle on a specific memory and then applying the insights and the lessons that you learned from the first instance. Try to imagine being able to do that over. What are the more constructive ways of responding or thinking or interpreting that would have led to a more successful outcome where you could have cut off the arising of that disturbing attitude? Try to replay that memory wherein you really were successful. Very clearly see what you will do, what strategies you will employ to be successful. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. So, recollecting your altruistic motivation, and then all of the energy that you put into actualizing that motivation, think that you've created a lot of positive karmic energy, and that you think that you dedicate that for the benefit of all sentient beings. And just offer that energy, that effort for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Thinking may it ripen in whatever way sentient beings need now and in the future, up to and including their enlightenment. And may it serve as a principle, cause, and condition for my own enlightenment so that I can work perfectly for the benefit of sentient beings. And may it completely pacify any hindrances to the Guru's long life. Thank you.